you realize that you're talking to Bernie supporters and bringing up Reagan, who literally was the dawn of the demise of the middle class.
Well, so. Reagan is my hero. Thanks to Reagan, I'm here.
You know, what he used was coded language.
Why should you don't have to listen to me? You don't have to believe a single word that I'm saying. Of course not. It's a free country.
Reagan, the only person Reagan helped was the higher up.
Conservatism came from coded language for racism because they didn't want to help black people.
Just finish your thought. Under what premise do you believe that lowering taxes?
Well, honey, I'm going to get back to you.
Sure. Nice talking to you. Okay, see ya. What was that?
Finish your thought. You were saying that.
Well, what I'm saying, yeah. Well, the reason
raises revenue for the government.
Go to your side.
I'm not proselytizing. So I'm not walking around with big. I'm asking questions.
You kind of are. You kind of are.
You can stay with Bern. I mean, that's your choice.
So you're like brandishing your viewpoints to other people as if.
I'm asking questions. No, it's a back and forth.
So
Isn't
it's
it
a critical analysis of trying to figure out what's like an experiment then?
No, it's a critical analysis as to why, based on latest statistics, some 60% of youngsters 18 to 35, 60% believes that socialism is not such a bad idea.
It's not.
The reason you don't.
I'd like to tell you why.
Okay, tell me.
Can I tell you why?
Sure.
There's one difference between capitalism and socialism. It is who profits. In a capitalist system, the boss profits, the owner.
Okay.
In a socialist system, the workers profit. And they have control, democratic control, over their economy and over their own lives.
How?
Because the workers run and own the businesses.
But how specifically, I mean, give me a scenario as to how it works. Let's say I have my own business. I now know how to run my own business. I have employees. Yes, I am the boss. Yes, I set the company policy. Yes, I treat my guys very, very well. I moved my business.
If I'm an employee at your company, you're telling me I'm treating you well.
Yes.
Well, I don't have any say in how you're treating me, so I'm just gonna have to
Yes, you do. You know what your choice is? Your choice is telling me, screw you, I'm going to the company across the street.
That's an illusion of choice. You say you don't like the company you're working for, go work for a different one. When in reality, 99% of the companies are capitalists.
Okay.
So
of course capitalists, yes.
Yes, exactly. It's a capitalist market. It's a capitalist society.
Okay.
So nobody has a choice. It's an illusion of choice. You say...
So
it's just like you saying, if you don't like buying from McDonald's, don't eat at McDonald's. Well, we don't have much of it. It's an illusion of choice. McDonald's model of their model is the same as other companies. It's all the same.
Okay, so this is the proven model that, for better or for worse, brought us to the standard of living that we are enjoying right now.
The era of capitalism is past its use.
Okay, now, how do you think it's going to work in your socialist system? When the workers would be, what, you said the owners of business?
That's
I mean, specifically, how is it going to work? Let's say if it's a manufacturing facility.
It's not theoretical. There are manufacturing facilities. There are worker-owned and operated. My dad worked at one of them. He said it was one of the best jobs he ever had. My dad's a strong capitalist, but the workers had a stake in their business. They all
By dint of what?
They all have
shares?
Yes, they all have shares. They all have a say in how the business is operated.
But there's no problem. So then you're advocating capitalism because that has been done.
But no, this is the difference. You can have a worker-owned business.
I'm sorry. You're having a semantics argument about you're just distorting where we draw the line.
No, I'm just
listen. That's why I said there's only one difference between capitalism and socialism.
What is it?
The workers own and operate the business. So you can have a worker-owned business in a capitalist system. But we need to change the capitalist system by starting more worker-owned businesses so that we can slowly change the capitalist system to a socialist system. And then the only difference is that the workers have control over their own lives, over their own livelihoods. So we need a democratic government, we need a democratic economy. The only way we have democratic economy is when the workers have control over their own livelihoods.
Okay, so here's my business. You want to change the system. I call it the capitalist system. I mean, that's the system I operate in. This is how it works where I'm the boss and I have the employees. Now, what you're saying is that now my employees all of a sudden will have to do what? Take my business away from me? Is that what you're suggesting, in other words?
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like an oligarch or like a tyrant who says these people want to vote for their leaders, they want to vote for what laws should be passed, they're trying to take the government away from me. What's the difference?
Trying to take away his freedom.
We don't only need a democratic government, we need a democratic economy as well.
Okay, so but
What's
again,
the difference between that?
No, I'm just trying to understand
like
the
to ask you
specific.
that. Can I ask you that?
Specific model. I mean, you didn't answer my question.
No,
so specific model. I have my business. Do you want to change it? Or do you want to keep it that way? Let me rephrase it. Do you want to keep the same model that I'm operating right now? If let's say you implement socialism in this country, so will you allow me to operate the same way I'm operating right now, or will you change
Presumably not, because this capitalist system is leading to corporatocracy, where all the companies are merging together into giant corporations. They're paying the workers starvation wages. So no, I think the model would change a bit. Now, smart businesses run their businesses well. They pay their businesses their owners.
But who's to decide which business is smart? So in my example, again, my specific example, I'm in the furniture business. I have 10 employees. I have 3 people in the office. I am the boss. So, what's going to change, if anything?
Well, your employees would have.
If I need to fire them, I fire them. If I want to hire more, if I need more help, I'll hire more help.
I'll tell you, the decisions of your company would
Yes.
be made primarily by democratic votes.
How?
It would be very easy if you have a dozen employees. They would get together and vote on it.
Vote on what? What models of furniture to bring, or what furniture to create, or whether we should work 10 hours, or 8 hours, or 5 hours.
Okay.
I mean, how it's going to work?
So
Sure, like that.
Are you against regulation?
I'm asking. I'm not against regulation. I'm for some regulation. Of course, I'm for some regulation.
So
Of
that
course I
means
am.
that the capitalist system isn't perfect, right?
No, of course it's not perfect. I mean, this is what it is.
So
But
but that's socialistic implementation to have regulation.
no, it's very broad. I'm asking you.
That's a very.
I'm asking about this specific. Yeah, please do.
I wanna answer
Okay.
your question.
Yeah, how it's going to
So,
work?
Not all decisions all the time would be made by democratic vote. You would still have different positions in your company. You would still have a manager, per se.
So they'll be the boss.
I mean, boss is I don't know about that term. There could be a guy there wouldn't be a top guy who has the final say. All final say matters would be put to democratic vote.
So-
there would be managers, but not a single executive who can overturn the will of the company.
So who will decide? Let's say, again, in my specific example,
Sure.
who will decide what type of furniture to make,
Well, that
who
might
to
be-
buy it from, who your suppliers are going to be?
Well, theoretically, when the company is
decide
formed,
that.
People decide that.
Yeah, the
People
decide
decide
it. Yeah,
that.
because if somebody wants to get something, they're not going to purchase it unless it's something that they want.
No, I'm talking within the company that you would have a furniture designer, right?
No, I'm the one who came up with all the ideas. I'm the one. All the ideas were coming from my head.
Well, when you
and
get-
nobody had these ideas.
But when you get big enough, you're going to hire a guy who's good at design. Right?
Okay, again, my specific, not hypothetical, my specific example.
Okay.
Specifically, 10 people,
It's anecdotal.
that's all that I have.
So
It's
your
a
10 people, they just put the chairs.
No, they don't. They don't.
But
Well,
I'll
what
give
we
you
do,
an example, and
well,
it's
what we do,
completely anecdotal.
I import furniture from Brazil. Okay, I warehouse it in my warehouse.
Your Brazilian workers have no say in your
My
business.
Brazilian workers are happy.
How many Brazilian workers on there?
Well, I'm feeding
You said there
perhaps
were 10
hundreds in Brazil.
Okay,
by
so
by,
you
by
just changed the
extension.
entire thing, man.
By extension, I have nothing to because I'm buying from a separate entity. Because even if you vote democratically, you have to buy from someone who makes something else, right? If you don't make furniture, you buy furniture. I mean, again, my specific example.
Yeah, okay.
So how are you going to figure out what type of stuff is going to sell? Because I made mistakes in the past. In fact,
First of all,
some of
you're kind of out of touch because at any capitalist company, they have different positions for they have marketing, they have design.
I don't have that. It's me. I'm doing everything. I hired people to help me
You're
out.
doing everything. No, you said you had 10 workers. What
Yes.
are they doing?
Well, let's say 2 workers in the office answer the phones, create invoices, give invoices to my guys. Now I have 1 driver who delivers furniture. I have 3 guys.
I can tell you've got a deep-seated libertarian thing going on because you're not giving any value to your workers. I tell you, I ask
Of course
you,
I do.
who's
I love
making your
them.
products? You say some people in Brazil. Who's designing? Do you have a designer? No, I design everything.
Yes, I did.
Who
Yes.
are your workers? And you say, well, they just answer the phones. They push.
Correct.
They push the paper. You
Correct.
have no
Some.
value for your workers. When in reality, you do. There are people who have tremendous value.
Of course, and I'm paying them good salary. So how is going to change? How the paradigm is going to change? I mean, can you give me an example? How is going to be different under socialism? How? How do you see it? The reason I'm saying I, me, is because
all you did was start the company.
Well, exactly. I started the company. Me. I came with idea. Me.
Yes.
I made the right
no longer
connections.
make the chairs.
Me.
You no longer make the furniture, right?
I never did. I never did.
You never actually put a chair together yourself?
Well, I did, but it's a different story. That's not my business. I'm a wholesale
talking in
business.
your theoretical position. You're the owner. You
Yes.
never even started by making your own furniture?
I started by delivering and
All you
selling,
did was take out a loan,
making invoices.
or take out some of your own money from your bank and
Here's-
start a company.
here's
What
the-
value does that have?
here's
You
the
got
catch.
workers putting real furniture together in Brazil. You got people answering phones for you. But what did you actually ever do?
Here's the
you
catch.
made decisions.
I make decisions. I took out the loan and invested my own money. There is no guarantee that I wouldn't have failed. Guess what? I failed in the past.
This is why the capitalist system needs to change because
How?
it all starts with some guy who has money.
I didn't
he
have
has-
any money. I had no money. I
took
borrowed
out a
the money.
loan.
Yeah.
So you're just smart enough to take out a loan.
No.
And then at that point,
No.
whoever makes my chairs and runs my business, really, the workers run the business.
I
but they
ran-
don't matter because you took out a loan.
First of all, when I started the
sorry.
business,
I'm sorry.
I ran the risk of either losing everything or making something out of business. Statistically, as you
Sorry, I
know,
got angry.
60%. It's okay. It's okay. I can take it. Listen, I was born in USSR.
Okay.
Okay.
See, that's your problem.
I live there.
because
That's not
the
my
USSR
problem.
is
No,
not socialist.
no. That's not my problem.
Okay.
That's my advantage, because I lived on both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the wall, the Berlin Wall. So I know that nothing good ever comes out of socialism. And you guys, you conflate social
What's
programs.
socialism? You're talking about the USSR?
Well, you tell me. Yes, because socialism.
was not socialism.
Well, it is socialism.
No.
Because that's what socialism
Immediately after the
into.
Bolshevik Revolution,
Yes.
the people who were in that revolution were the working people, and then they formed. They formed federated territories, worker-owned things.
Right.
It lasted a couple months.
Right.
But after that, then the party took over. They took over the whole country and turned it into a fascist regime.
Well, we
Let me
can-
tell you just a
Sure.
a different story.
Sure.
In Spain, they
Yes.
had a different socialist revolution.
Okay.
That lasted about 4 years, not just a couple months like in Russia. But then 4 years later, the fascists took over again because the people didn't have a people's army that was ready to take them on. But for 4 years in Spain, they did what they did for a couple months in Russia, which is they had federated. This is how you do it on a national scale. You've got federated groups of people, communities. They make decisions about their local community, kind of like what we think we have here. But then also the workers own their businesses. So everything is democratic, and that existed in Spain for about 4 years. Everything's democratic. The government's democratic. The economy is democratic. So that is real socialism. Real socialism is
No, it's
more-
not.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
I know.
But let me ask
I'm
you
a
this.
socialist.
Good. So you know, okay, because you call yourself socialist, you know. But anyway, so
I wouldn't
how?
call myself that if I didn't know what it was.
Well,
Well,
do you know the
never
definition
mind.
of socialism?
Yes,
I mean,
workers owning means
no.
of production.
well, what specifically does it mean? What I keep on saying is that socialism is lack of two things. So again, dictionary definition. This is what it is the system where profit is criminalized and private property is criminalized. That's the definition of socialism. You can
Private-
say all you want.
Private
Then
property, yes.
Then it's going to be a different system.
I agree.
It's
that
not going to be
private property should I
socialism.
agree that private property should be done away with.
Should be done away with.
Yes.
Okay.
That does not include personal property.
Now let me ask you another kind of
I
hypothetical.
can talk to you about that.
Sure. Now let me. If you're not in a rush, I mean, we can talk. We can talk. Now let's say if there's a doctor's office. I mean, here's another example. How do you think doctor's office is going to work in a socialist system?